Hi friends. Hello, hello, hello. So, I know a lot of my videos have to do with me talking a lot. And a lot of that is because that's the kind of ASMR that I like. I like to just have a soft voice in the background that I can relax to. I do also know that listening to a story is fun, but sometimes it's hard to stop paying attention to it. If you're trying to get to sleep, you just want to keep listening. So instead, today I'm going to be reading something that you guys don't care about. I'm going to be reading through my very long list of concerts that I have seen. I made this table. It has the show, the date, the venue, because I kind of go between two different states a lot, who I saw the concert with, and any thoughts on it. I'm obviously not going to be reading all the data on here. I think that would really expose my location. So instead, I'm going to be reading the artist and talking a little bit about the show. So this will just be sort of a voice in the background that you can ignore. There is no reason for you to care about this. Just go to sleep. Just relax. Relax. And we're all just going to take a chill moment. And we'll return to Harry Potter tomorrow. So, I have this list in alphabetical order, not chronological. I've seen a lot of concerts and I saw plenty as a kid that I can't really remember. So I thought alphabetical would make a little more sense because there are plenty of shows that I can't figure out the exact date to. I've gotten most of them, but you know, we really, sometimes it's hard. So, just this past summer, I went to an Alanis Morissette show. It was really good. She was the last of three artists that I will talk about later. I went to Warped Tour a lot as a teen. I'm actually going to the revival this that sounds religious, to the like Warped Tour comeback this summer, just as a little throwback. But a lot of these bands I will have seen at Warped Tour. Our next band is Ailstorm. They were a little ridiculous. I just saw them because I happened upon them at Warped Tour. I've seen Alex Leahy 3 different times. She is an Australian musician, sort of indie rock. Or maybe just, I don't know actually how she defines herself. But that's how I define her. So I've seen her 3 times between 2019 and 2023. Alison Krauss is next. I saw her at one of Willie Nelson's Outlaw Music Fests. And then I saw Allison Russell opening for an artist that I have seen several times. I technically saw Ariana Grande because I went to a march back in 2018, the March for Our Lives in DC, and she performed a song there. So technicality, she's on this list. I saw the Avett Brothers at Outlaw Music Fest. I have literally no comments on my playlist for them. I don't think I found them very memorable. I saw Bad Cop, Bad Cop at Warped Tour. They are a all-female rock band, punky rock, you know. They were super fun. I saw Bad Seed Rising, which was a local band from my hometown. I saw Balin opening for an artist I was seeing at a gorgeous theater. It was so beautiful. I saw the Barbed Wire Dolls at Warped Tour. I saw the Bare Naked Ladies twice. One of the times was in 2019 when Lil Nas X's Old Town Road was popular, and they sang a cover of it, which was really funny. I saw Biba Doobie for free. I walked into a museum, an art museum, and she was doing a little radio recording up on one of the balconies, and a lady who worked for the museum let me and my friend up there because her guests were stuck in traffic and couldn't make the recording. So we got to stand on the balcony of this beautiful art museum and watch Biba Doobie play like 5 feet from us. It was like in a movie. I saw Beach Bunny at the All Things Go Fest, which I've been to twice. I went to the first 2 years of it. I did not go this past year because it was mad expensive and also 2 days, and I just wasn't feeling it. I saw the Beths. It was kind of a mid-performance. I don't know if they were having an off day or something. I saw Big Thief. They were really good. I was right up at the barrier. I've seen Bikini Kill on their comeback tour in 2019. I missed the first day of my senior week. I was graduating high school that year, and I went to the show instead of going to senior week, and I almost passed out because I was so dehydrated. I actually almost missed Rebel Girl because I had to leave the spot at the barrier that I had made it to and go sit on the floor at the back of the venue. I saw Blondie, which was also in 2019, and Blondie also covered Old Town Road. It was really funny going to 2 shows in the same summer for artists that are not the same genre or, not related to Lil Nas X at all, covering Old Town Road. I've seen Bob Dylan 3 times. The first time when I was 8 years old, and the 3rd time just this past summer for the Outlaw Music Fest. I saw Bonnie Raitt, which was a really good show. I've seen Boston, but only because an artist I wanted to see was opening for them. I've also seen Brandi Carlile 3 times. She has such an amazing voice. I saw a band called the Brothers Brothers. I don't remember much about them. I was there for the main act and they were the opener. I saw Bruce Springsteen just this past September. Unfortunately, I was not feeling well, and I ended up having to step out of the show, which was really sad. I saw the Carolina Chocolate Drops when I was 11. I do actually remember this show. It was at a local theater. Um, and Rihanna Giddens, who was the lead singer for Carolina Chocolate Drops, has just an amazing voice. I saw Cautious Clay at the All Things Go Fest. I saw Celise at the Outlaw Music Fest this summer. I found her show to be really good. She only has 5,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, or she did at that time, and she was up there playing with Dylan and Willie and Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, and she was really holding her own. It was very impressive. I saw Charlie Daniels perform Devil Went Down to Georgia at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. He was wearing a banana yellow suit, hat, everything. It was so funny. I saw Cheap Trick with my dad for Father's Day one year. I go to a lot of shows with my dad. We are definitely concert buddies. I actually really enjoyed it. This Cheap Trick puts on a really good show. I saw a band called Cheshi twice. They were another local band. I saw Counting Crows at Bethel Woods. I was actually not super impressed by their show. They were opening for a band that I'll talk about later, and I just thought they were incredibly boring. I'm so sorry to any Counting Crows fans. I am not one of them. I've seen Cyndi Lauper back in 2017. She did a cartwheel on stage, which was pretty impressive considering it was in 2017. When I was a kid, my dad was sort of friends with this band called Deadman's Hollow, and they were sort of a folky Americana-y band, and they were my favorite band as a kid. I've seen them, I think, more times than I can count. They would always play at like local events and stuff. I saw a band called Dump Him at a basement show in my like first week of college. I don't remember much about that show. I saw Elvis Costello in 2019. It was the same show that I saw Blondie at. And the next day I went to work wearing my Elvis Costello and Blondie tour t-shirt, and some guy stopped me and was like, did you actually see them live, or are you just wearing that to look cool? And I was like, if I was wearing it to look cool, maybe I'd pick a shirt that didn't say Tour 2019. Maybe I'd get something a little more vintage. I saw Faye Webster at the All Things Go Fest. I saw Fletcher with a friend. Fletcher isn't super an artist that I would seek out in my spare time, but I'm definitely someone who's like down to go to any concert. So my dad's favorite band is a band called Gangsta Grass. They are a bluegrass hip-hop band. They're actually super cool. I've seen them once. My dad's seen them like 5 different times. I saw George Thorogood, mostly because I wanted to see the opener. My cousin is dating this girl in a band called Ginger Witch. So I saw Ginger Witch perform at Artscape in Baltimore. They were actually super cool. They were really good live, and I got to hang out with everyone in the band afterwards, and it was super fun. I saw Gillian Welch and David Rawlings perform. Gillian is one of my top artists. She shows up on my Spotify Wrapped every year since I've been aware of Spotify Wrapped. I just think she is so lovely and talented and just has an amazing voice. I saw Girl in Red at the All Things Go Fest. Gonna be honest, not my favorite show. She doesn't have the best stage presence, and I didn't enjoy it very much. That year at All Things Go, it also rained horribly. It poured rain the whole time. It was so cold. No one was prepared. Everyone bought out all the sweatshirts and long sleeve shirts at the merch stand because they wanted dry, warm clothes. And so I wasn't in the best mood by the time Girl in Red came on stage. I saw Glady opening for an artist I wanted to see. I thought she was really good. I saw the Great Dust Bowl Revival. They're like an 8-piece band. They're really good though. I think they have like great energy. I saw Guar at Warped Tour. My dad actually lived in the same town as Guar when he was younger, and he has some stories about encounters with the members, but his phone number was 1 digit off from the Guar band number, so he would always get like angry people calling him because apparently the guys in the band were kind of assholes. Which is not surprising. That was a really fun show. Yeah, it was a great show. I saw Hootie and the Blowfish. They played with Bare Naked Ladies when I saw them. I've seen Hosier, and I literally learned to drive so that I could drive to see this show. I was very reluctant to learn how to drive. I didn't really need to. I grew up in a very walkable area. So yeah, I was like 18 learning how to drive so I could go see Hosier. And it was totally worth it. It was such a good show. It was like a religious experience. This was at that venue that I said was beautiful. Balin is the band that opened for him. And just like being in a beautiful venue, listening to his beautiful voice, it was just like religious experience, you know what I mean? I saw a band called Humbird. They were really good. It's actually just one person. I don't know why I said band. Humbird is really good. They have a lovely voice. And I was supposed to see them opening for Lady Lamb. But unfortunately, I ended up being super sick almost as soon as I got to the venue. And so I only saw about half of Humbird's set. And then I had to go home before Lady Lamb came on stage. I saw the Indigo Girls play. I feel like that's a pretty solid check mark. They're really good. They're couple other bands and artists. They played with Brandi Carlile and Allison Russell, and it was just a very enjoyable show altogether. I went to go see Jade Bird in one of my first weeks of college with a friend that I had just made, and she only came with me because she didn't want me to go alone. But we are now really, really close friends. We still live nearby. So that's a lovely concert to look back on. I saw the James Hunter 6 open for Bonnie Raitt. I saw Japanese Breakfast. Japanese Breakfast was my first show back after COVID lockdown, and Japanese Breakfast is actually alumni is plural. They were an alumnus of my college, and I went to a very, very small college. We don't have a lot of super notable alumni, but I actually ended up taking a class my senior year with her favorite professor, which is super cool. I saw Jenny Lewis. I ended up with an extra ticket and went with someone I hardly knew. I never spoke to them again afterwards, but it was a really good show and we both enjoyed it. I saw Jimmy Buffett before he passed away. Just great fun. I've seen Joan Jett 4 times. I am a big fan of Joan Jett. I have a bunch of Joan Jett pictures on my wall. I have a picture of her and Blondie posing together. I have a picture of all the Runaways together, and I have my favorite thing on my walls right now is this Joan Jett for President poster that I got I saw it in a thrift store in Nashville, and I really wanted it, but I thought I could find it somewhere else, like on the internet or something, and I couldn't. It must have been, made by a local print shop or something. So for Christmas that year, my dad messaged the Nashville thrift store long after we had left and had them send it to him so he could give it to me, and I love it. I saw John Mellencamp when I was 9 years old at the same venue or same show that I saw Bob Dylan when I was a kid, and I think now to a certain extent. A bunch of the dads in my neighborhood had a band together called the Jug Band, and so obviously I've seen them a bunch of times. My dad personally ran sound for them because we are music appreciators. We are not talented with singing or instruments. I saw Julian Baker. Honestly, I thought her show was really boring. I'm so sorry, Julian. She tried to open up a pit in the middle of the floor, or in the middle of the show, which would be fine if she played music that lent itself to being in the pit at all. But unfortunately, her sounds are very slow and almost lullaby-like, so it was kind I saw Kathleen Edwards just this past summer, which was really great. She'd been on my list for a really long time. So I was very happy to see her finally. So I'll Keep Flying. I don't remember anything about that show. It was just another local band that I saw when I went to go see Cheshire and Bad Seed Rising. When I saw Kathleen Edwards, Ken Yates opened for her. They were obviously friends, which was really cool. I like when the opener and the lead act interact. I've seen King Princess twice, once at All Things Go and once at her own show. I don't have a ton to say about her. I saw Kingsbury open for Alex Leahy. The first time I saw Alex Leahy in 2019, she was good. I saw Kiss at Hershey Park, because why not? I've seen Katie Tunstall. She opened for Bare Naked Ladies, and she was one of my favorite artists when I was like 11 or 12, so that was really fun. So a band called Lamp, they opened for another artist I wanted to see, but unfortunately their mics were having issues and it was very, very hard to hear them. I've seen Larkin Poe, very good, highly recommend. They are very talented and very like tight musically. They have their stuff together. I saw Laura Jane Grace. It was a really good show. She is definitely an asshole. But I mean, what musician isn't, probably? I saw Less Than Jake at Warped Tour, and the band crowd surfed on a blow-up raft, which was funny. I saw Liza Ann. She was another opener for Alex Leahy. We talked to her after the show, and she ended up giving my friend a discount on her merch because my friend really liked it. I saw an artist named Lou Roy. She was opening for another artist that we wanted to see. She was absolutely baked for her show. My friend who I went with and I loved it. It was such a good show, but that woman was high as a kite. I've seen Lucinda Williams. I love her. She's just amazing. I saw a band called Lucius open for Brandi Carlile. They were fine. They didn't really catch my interest. I've seen Lucy Dacus twice. I saw her once at All Things Go and once in 2019 at a very small venue, and I actually ended up running into my cousin, different cousin, not the one who's dating the band member of Ginger Witch, but a different one. I have a lot of cousins, and I ran into him at the show. It was really good. I'm really glad I got to see her before she kind of blew up, you know what I mean? Well, I guess blow up is kind of an exaggeration, but before she got popular. I saw Lucy Wainwright Roche, also an opener, also good. Half of her show was like stand-up comedy. She was really funny, but she also, you know, sang good songs. I'm not complaining. I had a good time. I saw Lyle Lovett with my whole saw The Maine at Warped Tour one year. I saw Maisie Peters at a venue nearby just this past year. Again, it was the kind of thing where a friend wanted to go and I joined along. I saw a band called Mannequin Pussy. They were opening for Japanese Breakfast, so it was also my first show after COVID lockdown. I ended up falling down in the pit, and I had to have people like scoop me up so I didn't get stepped on. I saw Margaret Glaspie opening for an artist that I wanted to see. She was really good. I always appreciate an opener. I have accidentally seen Maud Latour 3 times. She definitely isn't on the same level as other artists that I've seen 3 or 4 times. Usually if I've seen an artist that much, it's intentional. However, I saw her once at All Things Go. I saw her once because a friend wanted to go. And she performed at my college one year because we have an event in the spring where musical artists or a musical artist is booked to come play the event. And she was the artist in 2022. No, yes, in 2022. I saw Mayday Parade at Warped Tour, big emo throwback. Saw a band called Mini Trees. They were opening for Julian Baker. Julian had 2 openers and they were the first one. I have seen Mitski twice. I saw her at All Things Go, and then I saw her just this past summer. I think that her solo show was miles better than her All Things Go performance. It was just such a choreographed, impressive show. It was really good. I technically saw Miley Cyrus at the March for Our Lives in 2018. She played 1 song. I've seen Molly Tuttle and the Golden Highway. They are a really, really good band. I'd highly recommend. Her violinist is just phenomenal. I'm usually way more of a singer person. I don't know a lot about instrumentals, but even with my limited knowledge, her violinist was so impressive. I saw an artist called Morgan Wade. She was opening for Joan Jett and Alanis Morissette. My notes say vehemently mid, which I think is probably a fine way. She was fine. You know what I mean? I saw Mothers. She opened for Lucy Dacus in 2018. Honestly, probably the worst opener I have ever seen. It was so boring. She didn't have any stage presence, and she didn't even face the stage. Maybe she's gotten better in the last 6-7 years, but I wouldn't see her again. I saw Muna opening for an artist. They were kind of a surprise opener, which is great because Muna's awesome. I've seen Nico Case twice. She has always been one of my favorite artists. My dad played me Nico songs when I was a small child, and I listened to her ever since. She doesn't allow photos or videos at her shows, so my friend and I wanted to get a set list and they took all the set lists off the stage before we could ask. And a employee of the venue saw us and overheard us wanting some. So they stopped us and said, wait a sec. And they went into the back and got us a set list and got Nico to sign it. I want to see if I can find it. I was so happy. Yeah, here's the set list. I love it. I want to get it framed because it says Love Nico on it. I was so glad that she played Margaret versus Pauline. I used to be very kind of afraid of that song as a kid, and I've grown to really love it. I've seen Nikki Lane. She probably would have been better in a smaller venue, but she was opening for a different artist. She's just not really my style. And also the sound guy really messed up her set. Saw a band called Namdi, also an opener. I've seen the Nighthawks with my family. I saw a band called One Blue Night, also a band local to my hometown. I got to see Old Crow Medicine Show during an Outlaw Music Fest, and I've seen the Old 97s, who were super fun to see play. Just this past October, I got to see Orville Peck. I went sort of on a whim. I got to get really cheap tickets for it, and so I dragged a friend along, and I really think it was the best show I saw in 2024. In 2024. He's just amazing. He's got amazing stage presence. He's so charismatic. He's got just a godlike voice. The show was so fun. The energy was so good, and he's so talented. And I got like $16 tickets, so that was amazing. I would go see him again in a heartbeat. And I'd pay more money. I saw Palais Royale twice, both at Warped Tour. I was really obsessed with them for a while. I had posters and a t-shirt. I saw Pale Hound. They opened for Big Thief. I've seen Paul Birch. My dad used to run a film festival / sort of general arts fest in my hometown, and this was one of his artists that he booked to play during the film festival. I've seen Phoebe Bridgers. It was a terrible venue, but a very good show. She opened with Motion Sickness, which I think is a very confident move that I really respected. I think when you have a song that big, sort of in relation to the rest of your songs, you would want to save that one. So I think opening for it was just sort of telling the audience, I know I'm good. You're gonna enjoy the rest of the show. Take it now. I've seen Poison. They opened for Cheap Trick. And I saw Pop Evil, who opened for Poison, who opened for Cheap Trick. And we did make fun of them the whole time. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Pop Evil. I've seen Real Big Fish at Warped Tour, and I saw The Regrets. I was there because Alex Leahy was opening for them, but The the regrets were very good too. I saw Rhett Madison just this past spring. I ended up winning free tickets to that show, and I picked her. I got free tickets to any show at the little venue she was at, and I picked her because I recognized the name. It was a really good show. She talked a lot about her dead mom, but that was the focus of her past album, sort of working through her grief, and I think it was really, really well done. I saw Ricky Skaggs in Nashville. I don't remember much about him. I've seen Ringo Starr. Can't complain about seeing a Beatle. It was a good show. I saw Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, as I mentioned earlier. I saw them at the Outlaw Music Fest. I saw Rod Stewart, but I was there for Cyndi Lauper because Cyndi was opening for him. I saw Sabrina Carpenter in 2019 at the 9:30 Club. I didn't really know who she was at the time, and I think she is my best. Like, I saw her before she got big. I think I got the tickets for like $10. So yeah, I've seen Sabrina Carpenter. I do remember enjoying the show, but I also kind of remember just being like, I don't know who this is. I saw Sammy Ray and the Friends. I saw them on Valentine's Day alone, which was kind of awkward, but also it was a really, really good show. I would see them again in a heartbeat. They were so fun. They were just having so much fun. And I love it when I'm watching a band and I can tell that they're really enjoying being on stage, you know? I saw Samus open for Bikini Kill, and I saw Santana at Bethel Woods. They were the band that Counting Crows was opening for. It didn't make a lot of sense. But the Santana show was really good. Carlos Santana is a crazy old man. He is crazy. He spent a lot of the show facing back to the audience, playing guitar, and he had like snakeskin jeans on. And it was so good. I saw Sarah Jaros. I've seen Save Ferris twice, once at Warped Tour and once at a nearby venue. They're so fun. They're just a fun, enjoyable ska band. I've seen Sydney Gish. She opened for the Beths. Hers was also kind of, it was a good performance. It was better than the Beths, but it was still kind of mid. So that's why I'm kind of wondering if like they were having an off day. Maybe the day before on their tour had been not very good. I've seen Sleater-Kinney twice. I was right up at the barrier the first time, so I was right in front of Corinne, and then Carrie Brownstein was on the other side of the stage. I saw Sleeping with Sirens at Warped Tour. They were actually the reason I wanted to go to Warped Tour in the first place, which is really funny because I cannot stand them now. I saw Soccer Mommy at All Things Go when it was pouring down rain. I saw Special Moves at the same basement show as Dump Him. I saw Steve Cropper at the Acme Feed and Seed in Nashville. He told a bunch of stories about him working in the music business. I've seen Stevie Wonder. I went to see him with my dad and my brother. It was such a good show, and the audience was so good. There was such good energy coming from the audience. Everyone was just having a great time. I saw Sturgill Simpson at the Outlaw Music Fest one year, and my notes on this say almost as much of a drag as Counting Crows, which is unfortunate. I saw St. Vincent at the All Things Go Fest. It was at the end of the night. We were drenched, but they were giving tickets for the pavilion to people in the lawn seats, and we got to sit under the pavilion for this one, which was lovely. I saw Styx because Joan Jett was opening for them. My very first concert ever was Sweet Honey in the Rock in February of 2001. I was like 2 months old. And my dad always talks about how baby me was very well behaved and fell asleep almost immediately. I saw a band called Tall Heights open for Larkin Poe. I saw Tesla because Joan opened for them. I saw Tao and the Get Down Stay Down. They opened for Julian Baker. They were in between Mini Trees and Julian. I'd never heard of her before, but her show was the best of the night. She got the crowd super involved, even though they weren't there for her. We're getting through it. We're getting through the list. I saw Tonight Alive at Warped Tour. I saw Trombone Shorty. Super fun show, for real. I saw him with my family, but it was a really good time. I saw Van Morrison at the Outlaw Music Fest. I've seen Wilco because Sleater-Kinney was opening for them, but I was there for Sleater-Kinney. And 2 more artists left. I saw an artist named Willie Carlisle. He was opening for Molly Tuttle. He was super fun. I didn't know anything about him. He got a bit political with it, but in a good way. Or in a way that I agreed with, so that was fun. And then finally, I have seen Willie Nelson 4 times. Willie and Joan are tied right now for my most seen artists, not counting Dead Man's Hollow or the Jug Band, because those are super local and I don't have the shows counted. Sorry, my stomach is rumbling. Yeah, I saw Willie Nelson for the first time when I was 8 years old at the same show that I saw John Mellencamp and Bob Dylan. And then the last 3 times I've seen him at the Outlaw Music Fest. That man is so old. Every time I see him, I'm like, this is the last time I'm gonna see him. I gotta go see him before he dies. And then he just doesn't die. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it, but I really hope he doesn't. I enjoy his shows. I enjoy his Outlaw Music Fest. The last few times he's been joined on stage by his son, who has sort of helped him along with his set, which has been cool to see. my chart, it ends with a disclaimer saying that this is no means every artist I've ever seen. There's probably plenty from my childhood that I cannot remember. I think I've seen Mavis Staples. But, oh my god, what are my bangs doing? But I don't remember it. And obviously I didn't remember the Sweet Honey in the Rock show. But I think that's really fun to put because I was 2 months old. So yeah, those are all the concerts that I have listed. I think my current count is 136 artists and counting. Like I said, I have tickets to go to the Warped Tour comeback this summer, sort of as a throwback. And I also got tickets for the My Chemical Romance tour this summer. They've been a very important band to me. I'm very excited to see them live. And then there's a couple of shows this spring that I'm thinking about buying tickets for. So the list is ever evolving. I hope you had a very relaxing time and that you don't hear my stomach grumbling. And I hope you were able to tune out, relax, not feel like you had to listen too hard. And I will see you